Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into intermittent fasting,
Ooh,
which has been getting a lot of buzz lately
it has.
in the health and wellness world.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot topic.
We want to help you guys understand what it is all about,
Yeah,
how it works, and why people are so excited about it.
absolutely.
So we've got a podcast episode all about IF that we're going to be looking at today. And
Awesome.
let me tell you, the potential benefits are pretty surprising.
They are.
We're talking enhanced brain function,
Right.
and even the possibility of living longer.
Yeah, there's some pretty interesting research out there.
So help us unpack this.
Okay.
What is the deal with intermittent fasting?
Well, the interesting thing about intermittent fasting, or IF, is that it's not about restricting what you eat,
Okay.
but rather when you eat.
Okay.
So it's a pattern of cycling between periods of eating and fasting.
So it's less about deprivation and more about timing.
Exactly. You got it. It's like giving your digestive system a break.
Yeah.
Instead of constantly processing food, it gets some time to rest and recharge.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, and there are a few different ways to approach it.
Okay.
Some popular methods include the 16.8 method, where you fast for 16 hours
Yeah.
and have an 8-hour window for eating.
Okay.
Then there's the 5.2 diet, where you eat normally for 5 days and then restrict calories on 2 non-consecutive days.
Okay.
And another one is eat, stop, eat, which involves a full 24-hour fast once or twice a week.
So there's some flexibility there,
Absolutely.
depending on someone's lifestyle and goals.
Totally.
But let's talk about what's actually happening
Yeah.
in the body during these fasting periods.
Yeah, that's where the science gets really interesting.
Okay.
So when you fast, your body goes through a series of metabolic shifts.
Uh-huh.
For instance, your insulin levels drop.
All right.
And this makes it easier for your body to access stored fat for energy.
So instead of relying on that readily available glucose from food, the body's tapping into its fat reserves.
Precisely. Your body becomes more efficient at utilizing fat for fuel, and that's a process called fat adaptation.
Okay.
But that's not all.
There's more.
There's more.
Okay.
Fasting also triggers this cellular process known as autophagy.
Autophagy. Tell me more about that.
So imagine your cells do like a deep clean, getting rid of damaged parts
Uh-huh.
and recycling components.
Interesting.
That's autophagy in a nutshell.
Okay.
And it's crucial for maintaining cellular health.
Okay.
And it's linked to benefits like improved brain function and potentially even disease prevention.
Wow.
Yeah,
So it's like hitting the reset button on your cells.
it really is.
That's pretty amazing.
It is, and the benefits don't stop there.
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Okay.
Fasting also influences hormone levels.
Okay.
And one key hormone that increases during fasting is human growth hormone, or HGH.
HGH, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Isn't that connected to muscle growth and anti-aging effects?
It is. It plays a role in those processes, but it's also involved in fat burning
Okay.
and has been linked to increased longevity in some studies.
So as you can see, the impact of intermittent fasting
Yeah.
goes far beyond just weight loss.
It's not just about the number on the scale.
Yeah, it sounds like it's creating a whole cascade of
Right.
positive changes throughout the body. Now, this is making me really curious
Yeah,
about what specific benefits people have experienced
sure.
with IF. What are we talking about here? What kind of results are we looking at?
Well, one of the most noticeable benefits is fat loss.
Okay.
IF can help target that stubborn fat that can be resistant to diet and exercise alone.
Okay.
And as we talked about, it has a significant impact on metabolic health.
So what does that mean,
Yeah.
practically speaking?
So IF can lead to lower blood sugar and insulin levels, which is huge for reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
It also improves insulin sensitivity, which means your body uses insulin more effectively.
So it's not just about weight, but about how your body processes
Exactly.
energy.
Exactly.
What other benefits have researchers found?
Well, there's growing evidence that IF can enhance brain health.
Okay.
Studies show that it increases BDNF, which is a protein that's essential for memory learning and overall cognitive function.
So like a brain power boost.
Yeah, like a brain power boost.
That's incredible.
Nice.
What else? Are there other benefits?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So chronic inflammation is a major contributor to many diseases, right? IF has been shown to reduce inflammatory markers in the body.
So it's like
Yeah.
addressing the root cause
So it's like getting to the root of the problem.
of a lot of health problems.
Exactly.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So it tackles inflammation at the source.
hmm
What about its impact on lifespan?
Well, there's definitely a lot of interest in IF's potential to increase longevity,
Okay.
and research suggests that it may mimic the effects of calorie restriction, which has been linked to longer lifespans in various organisms.
So IVOS could potentially help us live longer, healthier lives.
It's a possibility that researchers are actively exploring.
Okay, this is definitely intriguing.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people listening are probably thinking, okay, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it?
Right.
Where do I even begin?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And one of the easiest ways to start is with that 16.8 method we talked about.
Okay.
It's pretty straightforward to incorporate into your day.
Okay.
The key is to start gradually.
Okay.
Maybe begin with a shorter fasting window, maybe 12 hours,
Okay.
and slowly increase it as your body adjusts.
So ease into it.
Exactly. Ease into it.
That's
And I imagine staying hydrated is super important during those fasting periods, right?
absolutely.
So make sure you're drinking plenty of water, black coffee, tea,
Okay.
anything without calories.
So we're not talking about deprivation here,
Right.
just strategic timing of when we eat.
Exactly.
And then when it comes to breaking your fast,
Yeah.
what should people be focusing on?
Focus on nutrient-rich foods.
Okay.
Things like protein, healthy fats, fiber,
Okay.
things that will nourish your body and leave you feeling satisfied.
So no loading up on
No,
processed junk
not a good idea.
or sugary snacks after a fast.
No, you want to break your fast with foods that will support your overall health goals.
This all makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of people, the biggest hurdle is figuring out
Yeah.
how to structure their eating windows
Right.
around their busy lives.
Yeah, that can be a challenge.
Any advice there?
Well, I think personalization is key.
Okay.
If you're a morning person, a later eating window might work best for you.
Uh-huh.
If you're more of a night owl, you can adjust accordingly.
Okay.
The beauty of IF is you can make it work for you, not the other way around.
So it's about experimenting a bit
Yeah,
and seeing what fits
totally.
your natural rhythms and preferences.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to tweak things as you go. Try different IF methods, adjust your fasting windows, and pay close attention to how you feel both physically and mentally.
It's a journey of self-discovery, isn't it?
It really is.
And throughout that journey,
yeah,
I imagine it's super important to listen to your body.
absolutely.
If you're feeling overly hungry, overly fatigued, just not right,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to adjust your approach
All right.
or even take a break.
Exactly.
And as always, if you have any concerns or any existing medical conditions,
Yeah.
talk to your doctor before making
Sounds like a good idea.
any big changes to your diet.
Definitely.
Safety and well-being should always come first.
Absolutely.
Now, before we wrap up, are there any resources you'd recommend
Oh, yeah.
for our listeners who are
Yeah.
interested in learning more about IF or
Absolutely.
getting some extra support?
Yeah. There are tons of great resources out there.
Okay.
You can find helpful apps that track your fasting windows.
Oh.
They monitor your progress, and they even offer recipe ideas.
Oh.
Yeah. And don't underestimate the power of online communities.
Okay.
Connecting with others who are on that same IF journey can provide a great source of support and motivation.
Community is so important
It really is.
for any kind of lifestyle change.
Absolutely.
What about books or articles?
Yeah.
Anything you'd recommend for a deeper dive into the
Okay.
science and practical application?
There are so many excellent books and articles written by experts in the field.
Okay.
Do your research find sources you trust and keep learning?
This has been such a fascinating dive
Yeah.
into intermittent fasting.
It has.
I feel like I've learned so much
Yeah, me too.
about the science,
Yeah.
the benefits, and the
Mhm.
practicalities.
It's been great unpacking all of this together.
So as we wrap up part one here,
Yeah.
what is one key takeaway
Okay.
you'd like our listeners to remember?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to approach IF with an open mind, a healthy dose of curiosity,
Okay.
and a willingness to experiment.
Okay.
Listen to your body, see what works best for you. Love it.
It's a journey that can lead to incredible changes in your health and well-being.
Awesome. And who knows, maybe you'll uncover a few secrets
Maybe.
to longevity along the way.
It's possible.
That concludes part one
Okay.
of our deep dive into intermittent fasting. We'll be back in part two, where we'll take a closer look at the different methods, potential side effects, and who might benefit most from this intriguing approach to health and wellness.
It was good.
See you in part two.
Bye.
Welcome back to our deep dive into intermittent fasting.
All right, so we've laid the groundwork.
Yeah?
We've explored some of the science
Oh,
behind IF.
right.
Now it's time to get a little more practical.
Yeah, let's dive into some of those IF methods we touched on earlier.
You mentioned a few
Yeah.
different approaches. Let's break them down one by one.
Sounds good.
So first up,
Okay.
we have the 16.8 method.
Yes, the 16.8 method involves fasting for 16 hours each day and having an 8-hour window for eating.
So for example,
Yeah.
you might finish dinner by 8 p.m.
Right.
and then skip breakfast, having your first meal around noon
Exactly.
the next day.
That's a common way to do it.
Okay, so it's a popular choice.
It is.
Because it seems like it fits pretty easily into many people's lifestyles.
It's pretty manageable. You're not drastically changing your eating habits, just shifting the timing a little bit.
Oh.
Now, the 5.2 diet's a little different.
Okay.
So with this method, you eat normally for 5 days a week and then significantly restrict your calorie intake on 2 non-consecutive days.
So it's like having 2 mini fasts
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
each week.
Exactly. And on those fasting days, you typically consume around 500 to 600 calories.
So it's not about
Yeah.
time-restricted feeding in this case,
No, it's more about calorie restriction.
but rather calorie restriction on certain days.
Exactly.
Okay. And then finally,
Yeah.
we have eat, stop, eat.
Yes. Eat, stop, eat, which involves a full 24-hour fast once or twice a week.
Okay, this one sounds a little more challenging.
It can be a little more challenging.
You're not eating anything for a whole day.
That's right. So, for instance, you might have dinner on Monday evening and then not eat again until dinner time on Tuesday.
That definitely requires some commitment.
It does. It does.
But I imagine the longer fasting periods could be very effective.
They can be. They can be, but it's important to remember that everybody's different, and what works well for one person might not be suitable for another.
Makes sense. It's all about finding the method
Right.
that aligns best with your individual needs
Exactly.
and preferences.
And your lifestyle.
And, of course, listening to your body
Yes. Always listen to your body.
throughout the process.
Absolutely.
Speaking of listening to your body,
Yeah.
let's talk about potential side effects.
Of course, no approach is without its potential downsides.
Right. So what are some things that people might experience when they first start IF?
Well, some common side effects, especially in the beginning, can include hunger pangs, headaches, fatigue, and difficulty concentrating.
I can see how those could be challenging.
Yeah.
Especially as your body's adapting to this new way of eating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the good news is that these side effects usually subside as you become more accustomed to IF.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Are there any ways to minimize those initial side effects?
Yeah. Definitely staying hydrated is crucial, and ensuring you're eating nutrient-rich foods during your eating windows.
Okay, so those are key.
Yes.
For a smoother transition.
Yeah.
Now, not everyone's a good candidate for intermittent fasting, right?
The IF is not for everyone.
What are some instances where someone should be extra cautious or avoid IF altogether?
So, for example, people with certain medical conditions, pregnant or breastfeeding women, and individuals with a history of disordered eating should consult with their doctor before trying IF.
So it's essential to prioritize safety.
Absolutely.
And get personalized guidance from a healthcare professional.
100%.
Okay, now let's shift gears a bit and talk about who might benefit most from intermittent fasting.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm curious, are there certain groups of people who tend to see
Yeah.
more noticeable results with IF?
Yeah, IS has shown really promising results for individuals with metabolic issues such as insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes.
That makes sense because we talked earlier about how IF can improve insulin sensitivity and help regulate blood sugar levels.
Yes, it can be a really powerful tool for managing those conditions.
Okay, what about people who are primarily looking to lose weight?
Yeah, IF can be very effective for weight loss, particularly for those who have struggled with traditional calorie restriction diets.
Because it helps the body tap into fat stores more efficiently.
Exactly. And it can help curb cravings and reduce overall calorie intake.
But it's important to emphasize that IF is not a magic bullet.
It's not a quick fix.
It should be combined with a healthy diet and regular exercise.
Absolutely. Those are essential for sustainable weight loss.
So it's a piece of the puzzle, not the whole picture.
Exactly.
Now, we also discussed the benefits for brain health.
Yeah.
Who might experience those more noticeably?
Well, anyone looking to improve cognitive function, memory, and focus might find IF beneficial.
Okay.
That increase in BDNF we talked about earlier is a key factor here.
So students, professionals, Anyone who relies on sharp thinking and mental clarity
Exactly.
might see some improvements.
He might, and
In
there's
fact,
even emerging research suggesting that IF might have a protective effect against neurodegenerative diseases.
that's amazing.
It's really interesting.
So we've seen that IF has a wide range
Yeah,
of potential benefits,
it does.
from improving metabolic health
Uh-huh.
to boosting brain power
Mm-hmm.
and potentially even extending lifespan.
It's pretty remarkable.
It is, but as with any health strategy,
Yes.
it's crucial to approach IF
Yeah,
with an informed
right.
and individualized perspective,
Absolutely.
and to work with a healthcare professional to make sure it aligns with your overall health goals.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in part 2.
We have.
We explored the different IF methods,
Yeah.
talked about potential side effects,
Mm-hmm.
and looked at who might benefit most
Right.
from this approach.
Yes. In part 3, we'll wrap things up with some practical tips for incorporating IF into your life, along with some final thoughts and resources for further exploration.
This has been really valuable information.
Oh, good.
I'm looking forward to diving into those practical aspects in part 3.
Awesome. It's going to be good.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've talked about the what and the why of intermittent fasting,
Yeah.
but now I know you're all thinking,
Yeah.
how can I actually make this a part of my life?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? How do we actually implement this?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
where should someone begin if they're listening and they're intrigued?
I think the most important thing is to start slowly.
Okay.
Don't jump into a 24-hour fast right away.
Right.
Begin with a shorter fasting window, maybe like 12 hours,
Yeah.
and gradually extend it as your body adjusts.
So find a rhythm
Exactly.
that feels sustainable.
Totally. It's all about easing into it.
Okay.
And remember, consistency is key.
Uh-huh.
It's more beneficial to fast consistently for shorter periods than to attempt a long fast and then give up completely.
Right. Consistency over intensity.
Exactly.
What about staying hydrated during those fasting periods?
Absolutely. Hydration is so important when you're fasting.
Okay.
Make sure you're drinking plenty of water, black coffee, unsweetened tea, anything without calories to keep those fluids up.
So again, not about deprivation.
Right.
Just being mindful
Yeah,
about what we're consuming.
exactly.
And then when it is time to break your fast,
Yes.
what should we be eating?
Focus on those nutrient-dense foods, protein, healthy fats,
Ah,
fiber,
okay.
things that will nourish your body and leave you feeling satisfied.
So no loading up on junk food
No, not a good idea.
or sugary snacks?
Right. You want to break your fast with foods that will support your health goals.
Okay, this all makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things people get tripped up on is
Yeah.
figuring out how to structure their eating windows
Right.
around their busy lives.
Yeah. That can be tough.
Any advice there?
Well, I think personalization is key here.
Okay.
If you're a morning person, a later eating window might work best for you.
Okay.
If you're more of a night owl, you can adjust accordingly.
Uh-huh.
The beauty of IF is you can make it work for you, not the other way around.
So it's about experimenting a bit
Totally.
and seeing what fits your natural rhythms.
Yes, and don't be afraid to tweak things as you go.
Okay.
Try different IF methods, adjust your fasting windows, pay attention to how you feel both physically and mentally.
So it really is a journey of self-discovery.
It is.
And throughout that journey,
Yeah,
I imagine it's crucial to listen to your body.
absolutely. If you're feeling overly hungry, overly fatigued, don't be afraid to adjust or take a break.
And of course,
Yeah.
as always,
Mhm.
any concerns, existing medical conditions. Talk to your doctor before making any changes to your diet.
Definitely.
Safety first.
Absolutely.
Now, before we wrap up this whole deep dive
Yeah.
on IF,
Okay.
are there any resources you would recommend for people who want to learn more?
Yeah, there's a ton of great resources out there.
Okay.
There are helpful apps that track your fasting windows,
Okay.
monitor your progress, and even offer recipe ideas.
Awesome.
And don't underestimate those online communities.
Right.
Connecting with others on the same journey can be super motivating.
Community is so important.
It is.
What about books or articles
Definitely.
for a deeper dive?
Yeah. There are many excellent books and articles written by experts.
Okay.
So do your research, find sources you trust, and just keep learning.
That's great advice for anything, really.
It is.
Well, this has been such a fascinating exploration
Yeah, it has.
of intermittent fasting.
It's been great unpacking all of this together.
I feel like I've gained a much better understanding
Me too.
of the science, the
Yeah.
benefits, and
Yeah.
the practicalities.
It's a really interesting approach to health and wellness.
It is. So as we wrap up,
Okay.
what's one key takeaway
All right.
you want our listeners to remember about intermittent fasting?
I'd say approach it with an open mind, a healthy dose of curiosity and a willingness to experiment.
Okay.
Listen to your body
Uh-huh.
and see what works best for you.
Love it.
It's a journey that can lead to incredible changes in your health and well-being.
Awesome. And who knows, maybe you'll even uncover a few secrets to longevity along the way.
Maybe.
Well, that concludes our deep dive into intermittent fasting. We hope you enjoyed this exploration and feel empowered to embark on your own IF adventure.
It's been fun.
Until next time, keep diving deep, keep learning, and keep striving for optimal health.
See ya!